Let me give a shout out to Tar and Rain, who I first came across a video on this subject, and then I did a bit of research and saw that the Young Turks had done a video on it as well. The NAACP has issued a travel advisory to all black people in this country and around the world about traveling to the state of Missouri. And you can do your own research as to why they've issued this travel advisory. They need to issue another travel advisory to the state of Oklahoma. Why do I say this? Because the state of Oklahoma takes a dim view on respecting the rights and even the right to life for people of color, black people specifically, but also Hispanic people and Native Americans. The pictures that you see in front of you are a picture of Betty Shelby and Scott Walton. If you're unfamiliar with Betty Shelby, she is the Tulsa, Oklahoma police officer who shot Terrence Crutcher while he had his hands in the air and was backing away from her because she was, quote unquote, in fear for her life. The police chief on the right is Scott Walton. He's the police chief in the county next door to Tulsa. And he hired her. Now, I can go in a whole lot of different directions, and I probably will. I just hope that I don't ramble about this. The 12 jurors that let this murderess go, even to a person commented that she should not be a police officer. Now, if I was on that jury, we'd still be there because this woman is guilty of murder. And there's no getting around that as far as I'm concerned. Now, to make matters worse, for some reason, the police chief, Mr. Scott Walton, I guess ran this past whomever in his particular jurisdiction, and the citizens pretty much told him that they did not want this lady patrolling as a police officer in their county. But as per usual, he didn't give a shit about what the citizens thought. He hired her anyway. Now, it should be stated that throughout her trial, Chief Walton was a big supporter of hers. So I don't know if he knew her personally or whatever. And there's a possibility that he did know her personally because he was a former member of the Tulsa Police Department. But this sends a chilling message, folks. This tells us that if you are white and you shoot an unarmed black man, woman, or child, you get rewarded. This woman killed a person, and not 12 months later, she is back in uniform with a badge and a gun. She didn't miss a day's pay, only because they kept her on the books until she resigned because she felt, quote unquote, isolated, which is bullshit because her husband is on the same police force. And if you remember the video and the scene that was shot from the helicopter, that was her husband in the helicopter, and he was the one who said, "That looks like a bad dude." Well, Terrence Crutcher wasn't a bad dude. He just happened to be an African American man that was of a large stature. Folks, this is why Colin Kaepernick took a knee at all those football games, to protest bullshit like this. Now, there are a lot of sayings that could be brought to mind here. And more I'm hearing people making mention of it, and I'm talking about black people. One of the sayings is, shoot first and ask questions later. One of the sayings is, better to be judged by 12 than carried out by 6. Folks, we are being hunted systematically by the police departments across the country. We are not given the benefit of the doubt. Anytime we are seen, no matter what our stature is, from large to small, from young to old, we are viewed as a threat anytime we come into contact with law enforcement. And I hate to say it, but we need to be in fear for our lives. And someone, sooner or later, is going to take an action, and then they are going to be arrested, and they are going to try to use the defense that they were in fear for their life. The same as any police officer when they take an action of shooting and killing someone. The difference is black people being in fear for their lives from police officers carries absolutely no weight, whereas a white person stating that they are in fear for their life carries all the weight. I said it before and I'll say it again. We need to stand up, folks. We need to support people like Colin Kaepernick, who is out there trying to bring attention to this. We need to call white America on the carpet and vote with our mouths, vote with our pocketbooks, and get whomever it is to go on record where they stand. Now, we already know where the police department stand as far as them dealing with us. And that stance is, fuck you, you aren't worth a damn, and no matter what I do to you, there's going to be no price to pay. Now, I've done videos on Oklahoma before, and I have said that when you go into Oklahoma, if you're black, you're taking your life into your hands. Now, Oklahoma borders Texas. They got tons of casinos over there, and in the casinos, you see a tremendous number of black people, but fortunately, the casinos are just across the border, you know, the larger ones, so you don't have to go too deep in. But even then, if you have a situation there, you are going to have a problem if you are black. So, just be aware that if you happen to be traveling through the county of Rogers, Oklahoma, you need to travel through there as quickly as possible, because the respect for your life if you are black is pretty much non-existent. Now, one final note. When they decided to hire Betty Shelby as a police officer in Rogers County, Oklahoma, rather than swear her in quietly, they telecasted her swearing in ceremony so that the world could see. And that just tells me they want the world to know that they don't give a shit about black people. And they honestly believe that she did a good job. So the next person that she happens to shoot and hopefully not kill, I pray that they sue the county of Rogers, Oklahoma, because you know goddamn well that when they hired this woman, they did not give her any type of a psychological test to determine her worthiness to wear that badge and carry that gun. Folks, if there's anything that we can do, we need to do it, and we need to do it pretty damn quick. It's either that or make sure that you have your concealed carry permit or your open carry permit or whatever permit you need to have so that you can have something that will hopefully level the playing field that you can use to defend yourself. I repeat, to defend yourself from bodily harm and people like this.